Derrick, why don't you tell me a little bit about what it was like winning that final game at Doak Campbell Stadium your senior year? What was that moment like winning it for Odell?
A lot of feelings came in. One part of me is saying, oh, we're going to a bowl game. We're going bowling. Odell winning his first game as a head coach. Being that he was my position coach, that made me twice as happy for him. And knowing how he is and what he stands for made me just as proud to be his athlete, to be pretty much his student.
How'd this team respond when they named him interim head coach yesterday?
I mean, how it went down, I feel like people were really still a little upset with, Jimbo leaving. And when they were announced that Coach Odell was the interim head coach, for me, I wasn't really surprised. I wasn't really worried knowing the type of person he is. I figured he could lead us very well, and I feel like a lot of people took it the same way.
You talk about being upset when Jimbo announced that. Just what were your personal feelings?
I mean, I wasn't mad at him for leaving. That's one thing that you got to know with him. He always thinks about the team and the players first. And with him leaving, I wasn't upset for him leaving. At the end of the day, he has to do what's best for his family and his career. So I wasn't really mad about that. It's just like when you've been with someone so long. For instance, for me, I've been here for 4 years, and when that happens, you create a bond with that person. And when out of nowhere he has to, when he leaves, you could be hurt a little bit, knowing that you fought through adversity with each other, ups and downs with each other, and then for him to just leave, you're gonna feel hurt about it. But at the same time, I'm happy for him in his career, and I've always been happy for him no matter what.
In his press conference, Odell today talked about how when you first got here, you kind of thought he was a little crazy. How has your relationship grown with these time here?
Man, okay. Man, there's some days I feel like he's still crazy, but at the end of the day, it's always with him. He cares. He deeply cares about his players. He cares for this university. He always wants his guys to better themselves every day. So, occasionally, when the way he acts, he'll be a little crazy. But at the end of the day, it's always towards the right direction, trying to make sure you're doing what you're supposed to do, make sure you're doing the right things, make sure you're in, for instance, for me or any defensive tackle or any player, make sure you're doing the right things on the field and on the field. He cares about his players that much. That's how I see it with him. So with me and him, it's kind of a love-hate relationship. Sometimes we cool, sometimes we not. At the end of the day, if we in an argument or something like that, there's no winning. Odell wins every single time. So just with me and him, I've grown to respect the man after knowing him, listening to what he's saying. At first, when I first got here, it was just like this man's not making any sense. What's going on? Now as I keep listening to what he's saying, everything's starting to make sense. And at the end of the day, he always looks out for me no matter what. So how I see it with him, it's just I respect him so much. He's the one a great person to look up to. He's a great role model. And I got none respect and none but love for him.
Derrick, there's so much talk, and there's even Coach Odell said it. There's a big cliche in football about family atmospheres, about being around family. But is Coach Odell one of those guys who actually makes his place feel like family?
Of course. This man's been here for so many years. This is practically his house. To be real with you, he's been here so many years. He's has that type of presence that when you meet him, you know this is a great person. I want him around me all the time. Someone's that way. So then coming here with him around here, him, he's always a great attitude. How you doing? How's everything? How's the family? So every time I see him, I already know okay, Odell's here. Everything's all cool. If I messed up, I already expect him to cuss me out. If I do something good job, keep moving forward. With him, it's just he's that. How I describe him is more of a. This is like a father figure, honestly. He just how he cares about everybody and everything. He just, honestly.
Derrick, the moment you guys were able to have the hug in the end zone by the goalpost, knowing that was the last time you were going to walk off that field as a player, how special was that for both of you?
I don't know what to tell about how Odell was feeling with him. How he was telling me he was proud of me of all the things that I've gone through here. How I felt, it's just like I was saying with Odell's with me. It's been a long time coming. How I felt towards it. When I first got here, I didn't think One, I didn't think I was good enough. I felt like everything I did was wrong. I wasn't really confident in anything I was doing. And the whole time, Odell was telling me just, like he said it without saying it, just keep doing what I've got to do and just keep pushing yourself no matter what. If you go down, learn from your mistakes and keep moving forward. If you doing something right, know what you did right, and then keep pushing, go do even better. And years gone by, after season, I've tried to correct myself, things I've done, try to perfect everything he says that I've been messing up in, try to better myself, and that's going on. My confidence getting better, and I feel like honestly he changed my life for the better for me being here, and I'm proud to be able to Florida State Seminole.
Regarding this game today, did you feel like you guys played a little bit differently? Was it a little bit more fun out there? It just seemed like you guys were a little bit more loose than normal.
Yeah, honestly, for once it was the last home game of the season. How Odell is, he was very amped up before we went out there and having us fueling up that fire, and everybody pretty much ready to run down a wall, in a sense.
What was his pregame speech?
It was pretty much saying just fighting for each other. Whenever we get on the field, we gotta do our job. Simple as that. From offense, defense, special teams, and just every time he talked, you can feel the passion that come out of every single word, and everyone bought in from the jump.
Heard him tell you too that Florida State isn't going anywhere. What do you think he meant by that when he said that to you?
I feel he means by that as the culture of this establishment, as in being unconquered, so to speak. Even though there'll be adversity throughout a year, there's always going to be adversity in a year in the football team, any type of way. But the thing that makes, how I see it, makes us unconquered, even if something happens, even though there's adversity, we always find a way to fight through it and keep pushing forward.
Does it set in that that'll be your last time stepping on that field in that uniform?
Well, in a home game?
In a home game.
I'm a senior.
As it set in that that'll be the last time. Sorry.
After the celebration on the field, I just kind of stopped and just looked around. That's just like it feels like it's been so fast, just like that. It was just like it just feels like I never really just take a look at everything. I just looked around. It's like I'm really gonna miss this place. Like I've had so many memories with coaches, teammates, people, students. It's just like soaking everything all in. It's just like, wow.
A couple more.
Derrick, did you really kind of take in the crowd atmosphere for this game? Knowing that it was the last time, did you really just take in the crowd atmosphere too?
A little bit. I mean, when we first started, my mind was, okay, we gotta do our job right then and there. After a while, when it started, the game started to end a little bit. Started to just hear what everybody in the crowd saying, getting into what they're saying, and just soaking it all in.
Derrick, you said you weren't bothered by Jimbo leaving. Were any of the players bothered about the timing of that right before the last game of the year?
Honestly, in a sense, I wasn't that bothered by it, but for me, it's just like I said before, when you build a bond with somebody and then they leave, you're gonna be affected somehow. And so at the time, in my opinion, I feel like they kind of rushed him to make a decision. Because I feel like he wanted to coach the game, so like he could finish. Because that was a lot of main things he always told us. Like one of the lessons, always, no matter what, you always finish. And for him to having to make that decision so early and out of the coaches in the game, I feel like that hurt him, and as well as hurt a lot of players as well. Because I feel like they wanted him to coach this final game just to see it as a farewell type of thing. But at the end of the day, things just happen. It's just life. Things that just happen. And Coach Odell stepped in, and he showed a perfect example to lead the team. And I'm just happy for that.
Derrick, as somebody who maybe gets to look at it with a little hindsight, playing your last game here, what do you hope the next head coach brings to Florida State? What type of guy do you hope the Seminoles get?
I just feel like the next head coach should show, how I see it, shows that he cares about his players, shows that he wants, us to succeed, always looking out for his play. I just want to see him being players first, and then, coach second, in a sense. just how I feel like, because while I've seen all these coaches, Jimbo, for example, as well as Coach Odell, they always thought about the players first. No matter what, if it would be class, it would be football, vice versa, or anything, always focused on the players, make sure players are doing what they gotta do, make sure players are getting what they need to better themselves. So, as well as a coach who wants to push players to better themselves and make sure they do what they gotta do, playing, winning, things like that. That's my number one thing, to make sure he loves what he's doing and always trying to want to make the players better themselves.